Hello and welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute, like a really long time. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this video not an hour long, but I have lots to fill you in on. If you are new around here, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nikki and I am a homeschool mom to 5 little boys. This is our 4th year of homeschool and it's been a doozy. So grab some coffee, some tea. I have some water today. And let's chat. So like I said, I'm gonna try to not make this video like an hour long, but I very easily could. So first and foremost, I want to talk about our homeschool years, homeschool things that have changed, or rather give you an update on how the year has gone. So we are like midway through, and first of all, I love watching other people's mid-year updates because it generally like inspires me and kind of like rejuvenates me to get through the end of the year. But also it's always good to hear from other homeschool moms that things have changed, that things are going well, things that weren't going well, and just like hear how everyone's doing. So I love watching these, so I hope that you enjoy watching this as well. And secondly, I like watching my own mid-year updates because it is always really cool for me to like look back and see kind of where we started, where we were in the middle of the year, and then kind of where we are when we end our school year. So anyway, I hope that this video finds you well and that you enjoy it. So this video I labeled a homeschool and a life update because there are just lots of things going on. But first, homeschool. Okay. Our homeschool year has been insanely difficult. Like, so hard, so challenging that I like almost don't even know where to begin. So this is our 4th year of homeschool, and my kids don't know anything different. They have only ever been homeschooled, with the exception of a little bit of preschool. My oldest son went to preschool for about 1.5 years, and when he only went part-time. And then my second son went to preschool for like the first half of the year, so from like September to December. And that's the only like formal education experience that they have. So they have no traditional classroom experience. They have no public school experience. And this is important for what I'm going to share with you, because they're having such an incredibly hard year this year, and I don't know why. I cannot for the life of me figure out what the heck is going on this year. We started the year off well and things were going good for a few weeks. And I think the beginning of our year was definitely different than previous years because we had a lot of extracurricular things that we had going on outside of our homeschool, which was different than it had been years prior. And I think maybe because those were like more strenuous than what they're used to, it really started to like drag us down. So when those things ended in November, I thought, okay, like we're gonna get it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get to a really good rhythm. And then that didn't happen. And then December came and Christmas came, and we did this really, really wonderful Christmas curriculum, which I had all intentions of sharing with you all, except we even struggled to do that. And I was left just feeling so defeated because the Christmas curriculum is written by the same person who wrote the Easter curriculum that we did last year, and the boys loved it and they did so well with it, and it's written very similarly, like it's laid out very similarly. And I thought, like, hey, they already know like the style of like how this goes, like this is gonna be great. And it was good, but it wasn't great. And it wasn't the curriculum, because the curriculum is wonderful. It was like us, like we just could not get into a rhythm. And so then Christmas happened, and then I'm like, okay, all kids at Christmas time, like, you know, in the weeks leading into Christmas, are cray cray. And I specifically remember like our last week of our co-op before Christmas, every single one of those kids was like bouncing off the walls. So it wasn't just mine, it was all of them. So it's just kids in general. And so I thought, okay, once we get out of Christmas, out of New Year's, past the holiday, into January, we're gonna find our rhythm. And here we are. It is the end of January and we have no rhythm. So I'm gonna dive a little more deeper into the things that I'm doing to remedy that situation, but that is a separate video. And today in particular, I just wanted to talk about like our game plan and then kind of go through the things that this year just hasn't worked. So we are hitting pause. We are stopping all curriculum. We are putting a pause on homeschool or our traditional homeschool. And there are lots of things that I need to do, that we need to do to kind of move forward. And I am going to talk about those in another video that I will share and kind of like share the plan of how to proceed. But for now, we are hitting pause. So that is the homeschool stuff. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about the things that, like, aside from us not just being able to find a rhythm, as far as curriculum goes, what has worked, what has not worked. So our math curriculum, Horizons, I still stand by, and it is amazing. This is the first year that I have actually had to use a teacher's manual for Horizons. And that is for my oldest son. He is in 3rd grade. So if you are using Horizons and you have not gotten to that level yet, up until this point, I have not needed the teacher's manual. But for the 3rd grade, I have definitely found myself using it a few times so far, just to help me know how to teach him certain concepts, and it has been helpful. So Horizons math has still been great. I still stand by that, and we love that. All About Reading has still been great. The Good and the Beautiful Language Arts has still been great. I have found that I am skipping some more things than I have in previous years, just simply because I just find them not useful for us. But the curriculum as a whole is still great. I still love it. Now, some things that I had planned on doing was unit studies, because I've always loved doing those. Our boys have always loved them, and we have not done any. We have not done a single unit study this year. And it's like, I don't even, oh gosh, it's just, I get frustrated with myself because I know what we have done in the past, and this isn't it. So we haven't even done a single unit study that I had planned to do this year, which is discouraging. But I will talk more about that in my video that I plan to share about how we are moving forward on that. But the unit studies, I can't say that they haven't worked because we just haven't done them. The other thing that hasn't been great is the sassafras science that I had planned on doing. So this, I kind of knew this going into it because I knew this one particular part going into it because I had read many reviews and I know some other homeschool moms that have used this curriculum. But this part of the curriculum, the read aloud, is awful. It is so bad. It's so bad. I think my kids don't mind it, but they definitely don't connect with it a ton. And the curriculum can definitely be done without this. But because of our lack of getting into any type of rhythm or routine this year, I have not been able to even scrap together anything else. So we have only done, gosh, probably like a quarter of the way through this. And I think that it has potential without this. This read aloud is just so bad. It's written very poorly and I struggle to read it. So when and if we resume this, it will be without this read aloud because this read aloud is just bad. I do not recommend buying it. I will save like a full-blown review on the on the curriculum as a whole once we have like done more of it, but I can tell you without a doubt this read aloud is not worth it. Do not buy this part of it. It's terrible. Now, the logbook that they fill in has been fine, and I think that the curriculum definitely has the potential to be good, sans the read aloud. So that has been a huge failure. Just not great. The other thing that we have really struggled to do this year is our morning basket. We were doing it, everything was going really well for a while, and then it just hasn't been. I found myself just feeling very frustrated and feeling like I was forcing our kids to do this. And while I know that it's normal to like force your kids to like go to school and, you know, because a lot of kids don't want to go to school. They don't want to, you know, do work. This is the first year that I've ever encountered this, and it has really put a damper on us. And I truly believe that homeschool can be magical. I believe that education does not have to be this boring, mundane thing that we have to do. And yes, we like my kids, they need to learn how to read, they need to learn how to write, they need to know how to do math. But we had gotten to a point where I was fighting them with, you know, they have tears, I have tears, everyone's angry and frustrated. And it's not the curriculum. It's just them just not wanting to do it. And I feel like overall we have just lost the magic We have lost the magic in our homeschool. We've lost the wonder of learning. We don't play games the way that we have in the past. We have not done art as much as we normally do. We have not been doing read alouds like we normally do. And all of those things are and have been a pivotal part of our homeschool. And I feel like that is what is missing. And it is what is causing this like overwhelming sense of dread for all of us, because I am not enjoying it. They are not enjoying it. And it's been very difficult. It has been really, really hard. So that is why I decided we are going to pause, and there are some things that I need to do before we kind of jump back in. But in the meantime, there are other things that we can do, which I will share in another video later this week. So that is all the homeschool stuff. It's just been a very difficult year, and I have some ideas, but this is a first for me. This is the first time that I've ever really felt stuck. And I mean, we've always had challenging days and challenging moments, but this is a first for me. This has really been the first time I've ever experienced like this. It's hard to even put into words. Like, it's just so hard right now, and I've got to figure out how to change it. So aside from that, life in general has also it's just been hard, and that ties into our homeschool. You know, when you homeschool, it is not, an 8 to 3 thing. It is not, oh, we do school from 8 to 12 and then we're done. Homeschool is your life. And so when life is chaotic, our homeschool feels chaotic. And I really thought that once, their sports ended, that things would kind of like settle down and we'd be able to get into a really good routine and a good rhythm again. And it just hasn't happened. And there's so many things that kind of play into that. My husband's job makes it very difficult. His hours make everything very challenging because of the times that he is home. So, everyone who has young kids knows that like the evening hours are the hardest time. And that, to me, is when it is so beneficial to have, dad or, both parents around to be able to like manage the chaos. And we don't have that. And so in turn, what happens is that my husband is home all day and he does not leave until the late afternoon. And so dad is home all day, and so they just want to play all day. And that is what is making everything really, really hard this year in particular. His hours kind of, bebop back and forth, and they are ever changing. And I know that we are not the only ones who have a different schedule than traditional schedules. I know we're not the only ones who navigating a challenging schedule and lifestyle. It's not just us. So I know that other people do it. I just don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. And I just feel very overwhelmed because, my husband works a lot. I am left to homeschool my boys. I have 5 young boys, and potty train a toddler, teach my children how to read and write, keep our house clean, do the laundry, try to exercise, try to eat well, drink enough water, get them to this activity or that activity. Like there's so many things, and I'm doing it alone a lot of the time. And it has just made it very, very hard. Part of this that my husband and I talked about yesterday is that we just have really young kids still. My oldest is only 8 years old and my youngest is 1. So we have 5 boys from 8 to 1, and it just makes things hard. Like we just have a lot of really young kids. All that to say, life has felt very, very hard lately. And on top of that, you know, my mental health has not been great. I always struggle in the winter, and this year is no exception to that. So all of these things have made homeschool very, very difficult. So that's how life has been. It has been crazy, and I feel like I cannot keep up. I cannot do all the things. And what's really bummed me out is I love YouTube. I love making content, and I love connecting with other homeschool moms on here. And I haven't been able to do that. And it's really been a huge, it's like that's been a bummer for me because I really enjoy doing this and I want to do it. I just like to do it. And I'm really trying now to find a way to make all of the things happen one way or another. Because again, I am not the only person who has lots of kids who homeschool and do this, that, and like, I am not alone in this. So I know that it is possible. Anyway, that is how things have gone. That's how things are going. It's been crazy. So, that being said, I am excited to share my ideas for how to proceed from here because I really need some feedback. And I would love to know if anyone else is just having a really hard year too. Also, let's not forget another really big factor in this is that we are 2 years into a pandemic that has no end in sight. And that is just an added layer of crap that has been this year. So, or the school year for us personally. So, thank you for watching this video. Thank you guys for continuing to be here. And I would love to hear how your homeschool year is going. I really hope that it is going better than ours. But if it's not, I hope this video finds you where you are and that you know that you are not alone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay.